Any examples used are for illustrative purposes only and do not take into account your particular investment objectives, financial situation, or needs, and may not be suitable for all investors. It is not intended to predict the performance of any specific investment and is not a solicitation or recommendation of any investment strategy. Welcome to the Your Family Bank Show with your host, Larry McClain. Larry and the Your Family Bank team seek to educate Americans just like you by providing real strategies for protecting and growing their hard-earned money. Get set for a show full of economic news and financial information affecting your bottom line. Larry wants you to reach the financial freedom you've worked so hard for. So now let's start the show. Here's Larry McClain.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning. If you're watching in the morning, Larry McClain, founder of Your Family Bank. Thanks for being on our podcast today. We appreciate it. You can go to all the pod locations or go on our website, yourfamilybank.org, or any of your favorite podcast apps. Or you can go to the YouTube channel either way and pull us up. So appreciate all of you being on with us and being loyal. And hey, share our podcast with other people. I think we give a lot of great information out there today. And today we're going to talk a little bit how to plan for today and for income tomorrow. And, it's important to know that 75% of Americans are not sure about retirement. And that's crazy. And we look at, why millions and millions are financially unprepared for retirement and how we can help, in regards to that. We'll look at some problem solving today and look at some landmines, financial landmines to kind of avoid as we go through this.
And now for some financial wisdom. It's time for the quote of the week.
Financial independence is the ability to live from the income of your own personal resources. Jim Rohn said that. He was certainly a renowned motivator speaker and a personal development coach over the years. And I've heard many, many tapes from Mr. Jim Rohn. And even the, that you're old when you remember how to take a cassette tape and use a pencil and backwind it. Okay. Just to let you know, Matt. How you doing, Matt? Our producer, buddy. How you doing?
Doing great, Larry. I remember how to do that very thing too. So I guess I'm falling in that old category.
Yeah, I saw some things the other day. Said, we survived by, our sports water came out of the water hose, and that's a lot of truth for that, brother. I can remember going to the water hose or spigot, what we called a spigot back in the days, and get our water. And didn't cost us anything. Be honest with you, it was free.
Yeah,
so,
and a lot cheaper than all those sports drinks they got out there now.
And we survived it, brother. We survived it, right?
Amazingly enough, yes.
Exactly right. So many Americans are unprepared for retirement. More than 52% of Americans are not on track to comfortably pay for their retirement, according to a recent report from Fidelity, the nation's largest provider of 401k plans. Nearly half of the U.S. private sector workers, roughly 57 million, don't have access to employer-sponsored retirement plan like a 401k, 403b, or 457 program. And if you look at that, only 1 in 10 Americans working in the private sector today is able to participate in a defined benefit pension program. Now, I will tell you this, for my company, we did a defined benefit pension program, and it was one of the best programs we ever did as far as retirement for ourselves and for our employees. So that may be something that you want to talk about if you don't have that type of program in your business, so to speak. So Gen Xers and millenniums are far less likely to have traditional pension plans than, of course, the boomer counterparts. And of course, that's what John said in this report. So if you think about that for a second, you've got half America not totally ready for it. We got another only 1 out of 10 in the private sector is able to participate in those types of plans. So what do we do? I mean, how do you plan for retirement? What are some of the things that that you've got to figure out for yourself. Well, a couple of essential questions is, number one, how much monthly income will I need in retirement, and how am I going to generate it? So, an old adage based in the years is that you want to have 70% of your income. That may go up because of the cost of living today, but if you figure just 70 or 80% of your income, what's your income now? Where's your income going to come from? One would be Social Security, hopefully, would be part of that three-legged stool. The other one would be your personal finance. And then the third one would be some type of retirement plan that you have. And if you don't have that retirement plan, guess what? You may not be in a situation today that you can create that income. So what happens if the cost of living continues to increase at a rate greater than anticipated? There's another thought. Who thought we'd be in the inflation situation that we have been in the last couple of years? I don't think anyone thought that, but guess what? Here we are. And my gosh, Matt, the crazy thing is, going out to dinner, going to the grocery store, it's just unbelievable. I told my wife the other day, I said, I don't know how young people make it today. The cost of living, even if you have to do daycare, my gosh, daycare is through the roof, especially for young people.
Yeah, it seems like the cost of everything is going up and has been. Luckily, the rate of inflation has slowed down, but still much more expensive than just a couple of years ago. And it's like, housing costs, food costs, those are kind of the big things. Of course, energy costs fluctuate quite a bit, but those food costs, I still get astounded. And it's sort of always, at least always in my mind, been this way. I'll go spend $100 at the grocery store, and I'll be like, I only got this. This is all I got. Now that's even magnified, more than it was before because of the increase in those food costs. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we have a slide that we use in presentations that, if you look at, 20 years ago, $20, you have a whole buggy full of stuff, right? 10 years later, at the same $20, you got a half a buggy. And today, $20, you get 2 items in that buggy, right?
Right.
It kind of gives you the visual of that, but it's true, And the other side of the fence is that how much interrupted increased income can my savings, investment, retirement accounts actually generate? Because guess what? That's going to pay the bills. That whatever that income is, if for your retirement, people said, well, I'll just keep working. Well, that's great if your health works out okay. And that's the other side of the fence, Matt. The healthcare cost today is through the roof, right? If you look at that. So you gotta understand that there's so many situations and roadblocks in retirement that we've got to look at and to make sure we're taking care of every bit of that. I was just in a meeting with a family that's been my client for years, and we're going over their trust work and things of that nature that they need, because dad's got cancer. He's got bone cancer and other situations. He's not going to be here for too much longer. And then we got mom that's got basically Alzheimer's, if you will. And I've got, 3 kids sitting in there that we got to provide for, dad's situation, and we got to provide for mom's situation and make sure that she's got money to take care of. We have to look at the nursing home situation. There's a lot of different things that you've got to look at when you're talking about retirement. And one of the things that people say, well, I'll just keep working. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't always happen that way. Things do happen. And number one of the biggest bills you're going to pay in most cases is medical bills as you get older. So what happens also if the tax rates rise, to the point that taxes start to reduce your spendable income? You got to think about that in regards to that. And so how that works. So there's a lot of things that we can do. So here's how we can help improve your chances of success in retirement. Number one, let us build you a stable 3-legged stool retirement plan, right? Under one common rule of thumb, retirees should rely on a stable 3-legged stool of income sources consisting of Social Security, pension, and withdrawals from savings, Yet only 7% of retirees have access to all three components, according to a recent study from the National Institute of Retirement Security. Think about that, Matt. Only 7% have that three-legged stool that they can access. So we've got to, you may only have two legs to that stool, right? And so we need to certainly help in that area. We can help you determine, the best time to start taking your Social Security for you and your spouse. All the listeners who contact us today, we'll send them and receive a free Social Security maximization report. So that would help them determine which one to do, number two. However, Social Security alone is not enough to live on during retirement. So anyone who contacts us this week, we will also receive a free no obligation consultation where we will discuss personal pension options so you can protect your hard-earned retirement savings, generated lifetime income stream that you can never outlive. And boy, I can't tell you, Matt, how important that is for people to have income they cannot outlive, because number one fear of people that retire today is running out of income. They don't want to run out. They don't want to live longer than their income goes. And I agree 100% for that. So, if that's you and you want to see how your retirement will work at no cost to you, you got to give us a call at 904-940-9555. Or go to our website, yourfamilybank.org, put your information in where it asks for that. And by the way, by doing that, we'll contact you, and we can do it via Zoom call, that we can set up a Zoom call so you don't have to come to the office. If you're local here in St. Augustine, here where our office is here at World Golf Village, right across the street from the world famous Buc-ee's here in World Golf Village, right here on 95. But stop, you can have an appointment, come here if you're local and sit down with us. But just, don't, enter retirement without a smart plan for Social Security. And we anticipate some changes to Social Security in the coming decades. So it's critically important, I think, that you get in touch with us, learn how you can maximize your Social Security benefits and based on your unique situation and needs. But guess what? Some people just jump into it and they do it yourself. And guess what? They can make some huge errors in choosing things to start the wrong time, and could cost them thousands and literally hundreds of thousands of money. So to look at that, let's look at 5 financial landmines to avoid before and during retirement. Number one, allowing your money to be mismanaged. Are you neglecting to review update your retirement plan as the years go by? I mean, it's the first of the year. Maybe it's a great time to have a second opinion, maybe to review your 401k, see what kind of fees that you may be paying. Maybe you can reduce those fees, or what kind of risk that you're taking inside that 401k. Look at your overall financial picture, if you will, not knowing how much you're paying, we said, in fees, and trying to delete fees where possible inside your 401k. I think one of the greatest things that you can look at is reducing fees. But first of all, Matt, you got to know what you're paying in fees, right? I mean, in order to reduce them, you need to know what you're paying. And I find this to be true. Probably 95% of the people that walk in my office and we sit down and we do a Zoom call, they don't even know what they're paying in fees. They really don't. I mean, they think they do, but when we break it down and show them really what they're paying in fees, they are astounded. It's like an epiphany, aha moment, if you will, when they can see actually what they're making in return and what they're paying in fees, and it makes a huge difference. So another landmine, thinking that you can beat the market. It's not about time in the market. It's about time in the market. Engaging in excessive risky speculations. I can't tell you how many people, Matt's, come into my office and gosh, they've got some of these investments that is not what we call mainstream, if you will, and kind of find out a lot of them are scams, if you will. And it's funny that the couple that I just had in today, he was an engineer at Northrop Grumman, and he had a financial advisor that gave him a statement and saying he was making like 9% tax free, and he had about $400,000 in this investment. And he came into my office, and I looked at it, and I'm taking, this was like 15 years ago. And I looked at it, and I said, sir, I said, and the first time I ever met him, I said, sir, I said, listen, I don't think you're getting this at all. And he said, oh no, I do. I get it. You know, this guy's, and I said, sir, if you're getting 9% tax free, I would want to buy a whole bunch of that myself. And kind of find out it wasn't what he said. It was a scam. It was a Ponzi scheme. And actually, the guy went to jail because of me having an investigation done for my client. And he should have went to jail. Absolutely should have went to jail. But here's my point to you. He thought he was getting 9% tax free on 400,000. 400 is actually 450,000. And my client was the only person out of this whole Ponzi scheme that I was able to get his money back for him through the company that this guy said he represented. And my point is that, you know, you have to be careful about people that mismanage your money, number one. Number two, you know, looking at things that may not be mainstream, if you will, that's paying excessive interest, and that is very, very risky in this situation. You know, this guy, I mean, who loves me to death, I mean, certainly because I saved him $450,000, but I've seen other people come through my office, and I don't, you know, this is not on the show today, but I've seen other people come to my office and say the same thing to me, and I wasn't able to maybe to get their money back from them, that they were in a Ponzi scheme. But I can think of a client that we were able to, he had an IRA, he'd lost $500,000 with this particular lady here in St. Augustine, actually. And kind of find out that we took a deduction because it was fraud, and we was able to convert his IRA into a Roth by using that loss, that $500,000, which there's a lot of different ways that you can, you know, get your money back a little bit, that you fall into those situations. But I'm saying that you got to be careful, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be careful. You know, if it's, you know, the old adage, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is too good to be true in a lot of cases, just to let you know that. So I want to share that with you. And not having a plan for your Social Security benefits. Failing to understand the best time to start taking benefits for your situation, not considering the impact on working retirement or your Social Security, neglecting the account for potential changes in the Social Security in the coming decades. So you got to make sure you do that. Another one is depleting your savings too quickly because you didn't have a plan. You know, failing to establish a sustainable withdrawal strategy. I hate giving these stories, but I got another story. You know, I have a client. She's single. She worked at Home Depot. She did well with the stock. She did what her mother and father left her some money, house, but she has a daughter, and this daughter doesn't have a job, and she's a grown daughter. I mean, she's like 30 years old, and she's supporting this daughter, and she's giving her money all the time. And I called her one day, and I've several times I said, listen, you got to learn how to say no, no, because you can't take care of you and her. She's able to get out and work, and she's not, and you're enabling her to be in the situation she's in. And I've had to have some really, really hard conversation with her and saying, you know, if you keep doing this, guess what? You are going to be out of money. You're not going to be able to help her, but more importantly, you're not going to be able to help yourself either. And so people will do what you let them do. And you've got to be in a situation where you can say no. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why sometimes it's good to have a third party or financial person, professional, that can give you some insight that sometimes your emotions get in the way of that, and you've got to have a clear plan for what you're going to do. So depleting your savings too quickly because you don't have a plan, not having sufficient emergency funds for those unexpected costs, and underestimating the real cost of your monthly expenses in retirement. That's one of the things that we do is that, if a person's getting retired, we're going to lay out exactly what it's going to cost them for their situation as far as their retirement. What do you actually have to pay all of this money out in retirement, and to know that you're going to have enough money to do that.
It's time for this week's Problem Solver.
As with all our examples and problem solvers, we change any names and personal details, protect the identity of the individual involved, but sometimes we tell stories on this to show you that real life situation. So Mark's a listener in our show who called in for his free, no obligation financial consultation. Mark's 68 years old. He's an attorney for the EPA. He makes a good living. He wants to keep working and retire in 5 years at the age of 73. Mark's done great job in savings for retirement and has a total nest egg of $1.8 million. Most of his savings, 1.6 of that, is in a tax-deferred IRA account. Mark is planning to receive a $40,000 a year from his pension at work, and after accounting for he and his wife's Social Security benefits, he will have a $40,000 income gap to fill in order to meet the budget for his retirement. So he's short 40 grand a year when he retires. So here's what the solution was. Mark is choosing to protect to invest $500,000 of IRA funds in a personal pension to fill the income gap. By delaying withdrawals for 5 years until he reached age 73, the cash value of his personal pension program, the fixed index annuity, will grow to the point where he can expect to generate an additional $40,000 a year for Mark and his wife need to live during retirement. So what were we able to do? We was able to take $500,000 and generate that $40,000 a year. Mark and his wife will allow the rest of the portfolio to grow until Mark reaches 73 and must start taking required minimum distributions, which is qualified money. They have to start taking it at 73. And they use the additional funds in their portfolio to travel in retirement, the fun things, play checks, if you will. The goal is eventually leaving a legacy for their 2 daughters and their grandchildren. So here's a situation where they're short $40,000. We're able to take $500,000, create the $40,000. All the money's grow in there for him to do the play checks, the traveling, and leaving things for his children and his grandchildren. So my point is today, I know we're up against the time because we've got a short day today, but here's what I want to say, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, Mark feels really, really good about what we're able to do for him, and we have some guarantees there to make sure that we're not losing money for him, that it's protected, that he can take some risk on the other $600,000-$700,000. But you know what? Being in that situation to protect that money, create that lifelong income that gives him that income for the rest of his life, that he never has to worry about that, along with his Social Security and his pension. It's going to create a lifestyle that he wants to retire and to have fun. And I can tell you, retirement is more expensive than you think it will be, Matt. I guarantee that. It's a lot. I mean, those play checks, you got to create some of those play checks, but if you're going to play, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And you talked about inflation earlier, retirement right now is more expensive than you think it's going to be, but a few years down the road, it's going to be even more expensive with inflation continuing. Even if it's at a more normal rate of inflation, still things are getting more expensive as time goes on.
Yeah. So, when's the time to do the best planning? Now. That's when the time to do the best planning. So, pick up the phone, call our office, 904-940-9555. You can start working with us in 2024. It's a brand new year. Get a second opinion, look where you're at, kind of get the big picture, Get a blueprint. Let us give you a blueprint of where you're at today and where we're going to go. We're going to build a retirement house. You want to build a blueprint, just about like building a regular house, right? You just can't just throw some 2x4s and some windows up. You got to have a plan, right? You got to have a plan what you're going to do. So what does a successful retirement plan look like to you? We're going to find that out. Are you doing, what you need to do, and what is a short-term situation? What's a long-term situation that we need to hit your specific goals? And, as my dad always told me, son, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. You do more listening than you do talking. True statement with that. That's what we do with our clients. We listen to what our clients have to say and what their goals are. And our job is to help you, come alongside of you and be the coach and make that happen for you. If you're a church, and let me throw this out at you, if you're a pastor or you work in the church realm, there's so many things we can help you there, especially with you, if you're a pastor or a minister or something of that nature. There's so many benefits that you're probably not aware of that we can help you with. So give us a call, 904-940-9555. Our website, yourfamilybank.org. Put your information in. We'll contact you there. Check us out. Listen, I'll say this, 35 years here in the business, we've never had a client run out of money, and we've saved a ton of taxes and created a tremendous amount of income. Let us do the same for you. Pick up the phone, give us a call, give us a chance, just talk to us. And if it makes sense to work with us, then you do. If it doesn't, I guarantee you'll get some information and help you in your retirement situation. Matt, I know it's a short day today. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for helping me out today. I appreciate you, and thank you a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. Hope you have a great day today, and we look forward to talking to you. Please give us a call. We look forward to it, and share our podcast across out there in the world. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Thanks for listening to the Your Family Bank Show with your host, Larry McClain. You deserve to work with an experienced financial professional who has a track record of helping clients exceed their financial goals by helping them eliminate debt and implementing safe and proven strategies. To schedule your free, no-obligation consultation with Larry, visit yourfamilybank.org. Fixed annuities, including multi-year guaranteed rate annuities, are not designed for short-term investments and may be subject to restrictions, fees, and surrender charges as described in the annuity contract. Guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuer.